Janine Beckham buys, shucks, and sells oysters. But this harvesting season, that's all a little more difficult.
Because they can only get two or three bushels a day, where when things are good and the water is right, you know, they can get 15 or 20 bushels a day.
But things aren't good and the water isn't right. This summer brought heavy drought to areas like Cedar Key, wiping out oyster beds just in time for harvesting season.
Unfortunately, they have discovered that there are a lot of oyster mortalities. And unfortunately, it's very, very extensive.
So extensive, Florida Governor Rick Scott is asking for a fishery disaster declaration for Florida's oyster harvesting areas in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, there are still oyster beds here in Cedar Key that are healthy and blooming, but they are too close to the coast like the one behind me, and they cannot be harvested. Which is a problem for Beckham, whose Cedar Key Oyster and Clam Company relies on fresh oysters to sell to neighboring communities.
Over the summer they took a bad hit, and there's hardly any oysters out there, a bunch of dead shells.
This shortage affects 2,500 other oyster workers like Beckham, who hopes Governor Scott's call for help trickles down to them.
You know, anything will help. Hopefully, you know, we'll get some oyster seed. We'll get to plant more oysters. That's what we need.
Okay. Catherine Awasti, GTN News.